A week after they rescue her, she's only been gone for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
They take the woman and her cousin, it comes to light, her cousin into custody. A week later, they're at trial.
1 week? 1 week? Okay, okay.
We're back with the Pretty Little Death, and we have one question for everyone. Is 829 pages too much for one book? I am the
For
critic, Christina Lynn.
I'm the bestie, Cassie. Sorry, I interrupted
No,
you.
it's fine. We have so much to talk about this book, which we were super excited for.
Yes.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Okay, so what are we talking about? We chose, because we're still waiting for the Brutes of Bristol book, we're going to mention it every month until it comes out. We're looking at you, Rebecca.
I
You have
know.
us on
Take your
pins and
time.
needles.
Take your time
Yeah,
because
we
it's
want
gonna
it to be
be
good, but the breadcrumbs you keep leaving. Oh my goodness.
sad. I'm so scared. Girl, I'm so scared.
I don't I there's so many spoilers that are not spoilers on her Instagram that I'm terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mind is racing. Anyway, back
Okay,
to this
we're
book.
not there
So,
yet. So, back to
ah!
we for those who haven't yet, if you are on Instagram, you should follow us on Instagram because I am posting reviews, very short reviews on the books that I am reading, and I'm trying to post every day, and we're trying to get the bestie on there. She's just been inundated at work, so
Yeah,
she's going to be there giving her own reviews.
I
But
will. I promise. I'm just really bad at social media, so
we are
it's
trying to post things like teasers from the show
mhm.
and what we're reading and what's ever going on. This last month, we'll just give a quick rundown. This last month has been absolute hell for me, and
Mhm.
because it's almost been a month.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you are following us on Instagram, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead, join us on Instagram and you'll find out.
Yes.
Um, so on Instagram, I was in one of these book girly lines where like talk about a book that you're writing or reading, and I came across one called Sugar Rush. The author posted it. Her name is Sarah Craik.
Correct, I
Yeah,
think. Yep.
I think she's from Western Europe. I'm just gonna put that out just from based on the story that we were reading and the format that it was in and that kind of thing.
That
Um,
makes so much sense now that you say that because I was like, there's a lot of things in there that was like that feel un-American, which
yeah,
is great.
weird. It's
But
great, but it's weird because it's a set in Chicago. So,
yeah, yeah.
we love authors who are branching out of their own national identity. That's fine. Um,
Mhm.
but we'll get into why that's also something that I griped about to you.
Yeah. It could be a little bit of a detriment too, but
Yeah.
it's we'll see. We'll talk about it.
Yep. So the author posted her book and I immediately went to Kindle to look at it before I suggested it to Cass for a book of the month. And I loved the synopsis. The synopsis was great. I loved the length, even though I knew it was going to be daunting for you. I think
Oh,
I warned you immediately. I was like,
you
listen.
did. Yeah,
Um,
you
but what it,
did.
and I also loved that it was freshly published. Okay, this was brand new. Um, even so far as if you go to look it up on Kindle, we've got 5-star reviews, but there's only 3 ratings. Um, so I was like, oh, this could be good. This could be good for us. We haven't ever had like an independent book come our way that had just hit the shelves and we
Mhm.
were going to be like one of the first voices talking about it. Um,
Yes, yes. And it was very exciting.
it is
Um,
829 pages long.
yes.
So,
And I have to say, unfortunately, I broke one of our rules and I DNF'd this thing.
yeah.
Um, I
She
am
talked
a
to me
notorious rule
first.
breaker of our rules that we set in place.
But it's only for book of the month.
Um,
It doesn't matter for the series. That
ugh,
I totally knew when I offered that series that you were going to be like, "Hold the phone, bitch." So,
yeah, yeah.
it didn't surprise me in the least. Um, but we are at 829 pages. Which me when I saw that, it was just like, oh, yes, yes, a long book. Um,
Mhm.
if you've listened to our podcast for a while or watched us on YouTube, because let's be frank, the podcast is only 2 months old. Did you know that? Like,
I didn't.
I
That's crazy. I feel
like
like it's flown by.
we started in the beginning of July. July 1st was our very
Mhm,
first episode, I believe. It might have been the second, but here
mhm.
we are in September. Like,
How crazy. Time has flown.
and we started the YouTube channel back in February. So,
Yes.
actually I started it back in December, but we didn't start doing books until February. Um
Yes, yes.
so I mean, like, we're doing pretty good. This is like one of the most consistent things right now in my schedule.
Oh my gosh. In just a few months, it's going to be a year,
I
at
know.
least until the channel. So, how nuts is that?
It's
Okay.
I'm so excited. And we have so much to share with you guys in the following months. We are talking about different things that we're going to do, different things that we're going to release for you guys. So,
Mhm.
stick around. Thank you very much. We appreciate your patience for all of our learning because we are definitely learning on the job for this one. Um so, Sugar Rush. Did you read the synopsis first?
No, I didn't.
So,
Um,
did I just message you and say
I,
this is what we're doing and you were like, "Okay, fine, that's fine."
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I kind of looked, I would judge the book by the cover. I was like, okay, this is just going to be a, age difference, sugar baby, sugar daddy kind of standard romance. That's what I was expecting. Um, uh, I didn't start for a while because it was a pretty rough month, but
Yeah.
I got to anyway. So let's you do the honors on the synopsis, and
I'm
then
good. So, I read this right at the beginning of the month.
yeah.
And it actually took me a long I know this is going to be surprising to our longtime listeners and watchers. It took me a long time to get through this. So, there are going to be some gaps in my
That's
memory
okay.
because I
I only
have
got 40% of the way through, so I apologize, but that's it's kind of fresh for me. So I at least know the first 40%. But that's it.
so
Um
okay, what we have here is like oh, I don't even know how to start. Like, to be honest, the beginning was not terrible. Like, the first two
no.
chapters was not terrible.
No,
Um
and actually I appreciated the fact that the author kind of expressed the protagonist as they were thinking in their mind, just kind of like expressed on pages what they were thinking, like their thoughts, and it was kind of pretty free form too,
yeah,
which was kind of interesting for me to read. It did become exhausting to the point where we were getting the perspective from the male lead
yeah,
too. Um, so how this book is, at least for the first 40%, we have this woman who is in her early 20s.
hmm,
She is an aspiring uh computer
like a web
uh
designer.
web designer. Thank
Yeah,
you.
like it gets. Oh my gosh,
Coding.
I had so much trouble with this.
Yeah, yeah. I know, I know.
Oh,
So anyways, we are a aspiring coder. She is out of a job at this point in the book,
yeah. Because
and she's
somebody wasn't there a sexual harassment going on in her workplace? I don't remember.
I, I don't think so. I think that, well, maybe. Anyway, so
I
something happened.
might be confusing books.
You might be. Something happened. She had to quit or she got fired. Something happened.
Yeah.
She is out of a job. She is not eaten in days.
Yeah.
She is like starving. It's really kind of sad.
Yeah.
Um, she is out with her friend, I think, and she's looking at she's not doing dating profiles. I think
No, she gets a
what her
spam email. She gets a
oh, spam,
spam
that's right.
email about it's called Sugar Rush and it's for sugar
Mm-hmm.
babies. And she ignores the first one and the second one comes
Mm-hmm.
in and she decides, fuck it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I am broke, and this is kind of like my Hail Mary, my last resort.
I'm bored
And
and
no one wants to hire me.
right.
Might as well be a sugar baby, you know? So
Yeah, and she's just
she
telling
goes for it.
herself like it's just for research. Like I just want to see what it's about. Um
Yes. Yes,
and
research.
and there are a lot of people on the profiles that are
Yes.
older, and then she comes across a
Much
very
older.
much older, and then she comes across a younger gentleman. So she's like 22.
And this man is in his like
And
mid to late 30s. I think
no,
he's like
he's
35 or 36.
28.
Oh, he's 28. I thought he was older than that. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's
So
20. No, he joined when he was 28. Something like
he
that.
joined when he was
He
28. That's
was
what I thought. So he's been
stupid
on the website
young.
for a while. He's like 35, 35,
Yeah.
36.
Yeah, he's stupid young.
Yes.
And
And wealthy and
and
crazy rich.
right. And he thinks that he had deleted his profile because of a bad situation with a previous sugar baby. And that's how they connect. Like his profile is
Yeah.
still up and she sends something and he responds. Um
Yes.
there's a whole lot of really simple vanilla dates going on. Okay.
So many. Yes.
and
Okay.
and they're trying to be
Uh,
friends at first. I'm trying to skip this along because like we don't want to go as long
there's
as
so much.
this
There's
book.
so
Okay,
much.
there's so much that could have been just removed with the red pin if the author had engaged an actual editor. I'm not talking about a proofreader, not someone to check your spelling and grammar. I'm talking about an editor, someone who's going to slash through and make the story better because the superfluous shit is not there. And
There's a lot of it,
you can
unfortunately, I
tell
have to
an
say.
editor was not engaged for this project. Um, so what happens? Well, they start dating.
Mhm.
And I don't
He
think,
falls madly in love with her pretty much at first sight.
yep. And then he
She's
has
in love with
absolutely
him.
no personality. He has no personality. And to be
White bread.
frank, neither does she.
No, they're both pretty white bread. So their first like real date was like going to a theater
Yeah, this is their
for the showing
second
of
date,
Lilo and Stitch.
which he hired out an entire theater, put on her favorite Disney movie, Lilo and Stitch, and they fucked in the dark theater.
Yep.
That was their
So
second
I mean,
date, which is like
that was my indicator
two
as to
days
the
after
ride that I
they
am going on right now.
it was 2 days after they met in person. It's like, okay, I was explaining this to someone. It might have been you. No, I think it was our friend. I think it was Shakes.
Yeah.
He was like, "What?" Because I was like, "Oh, we gotta record this weekend because the 24th is coming up and
Yeah.
you know because you were supposed to join us. We were gonna have like just a night of hangout, and you were like,
Yes.
"Sorry, I gotta read more of this book." And Shakes was like, "She hasn't finished it yet." I was like, "I don't blame her." Um,
I tried so hard. I really did. I really, really
no, I
did.
don't
But
blame
like
you because
every
how many
time,
times did
because
I
it was
message you that I was going to drop this damn book?
so many. And you
Like,
never. She is the she does not DNF books.
It takes a lot for me to DNF. Um,
Yeah.
I've only DNF'd
Your
8
willpower is
books
greater than
this
mine.
year. I mean, it's September. That's like I've only DNF'd 8 books.
That's really
That's
good.
that's one almost one a month, and that's really good. Last year I was so bad. My numbers were actually better last year though at this point. So
Mhm.
I have been posting them on Instagram. If you guys are wondering what my book count for the year is, that is not physical books.
Excuse me.
That is just what's on my Kindle.
Yeah.
Um, I will be posting that every month because it's one of my favorite things to post. Like, look, I'm doing really good. I'm still trying to beat 22. 2022, I hit like 225 books.
Insanity, by the
I'm
way.
not.
Insanity.
I am definitely behind, but I.
What do you mean behind? I have probably less than 200 books in my entire existence. Okay.
Well, I mean,
So that's a goal,
I'm like
okay?
170 right now. Okay, so I'm a
Yeah.
little behind, but I have like 3 months. So no, I have 2 months.
2 months, girl. Coming up at the
Look,
end of the
3
year soon.
October, November,
3.
December. So
Yeah, I can count.
yeah, yeah. I can't. Anyways, so I was telling Shakes that this story is like because I didn't want to spoil it for him. He hasn't been listening to the podcast or watching our videos, and I was like, "Shakes, you're a mod. Come on, man." Um, and he was
Rude.
like, "What?" I was like, this one's a doozy." And he's like, "I don't understand why." And I was like, "I don't want to give it away, but I was like, it's kind of boring." And he was like, "What?" I don't think he's ever heard us say that about a smutty book.
No,
And I was like,
no. There's
"Yeah,
at least something going on or something crazy that's happening that we have to this. I think this is the reason I DNF'd because I was like, I have so many other books that I want to read, like that I feel like I'm wasting my time. I go like the first 40% could have been condensed into
25."
like maybe 25% of the book,
Yeah.
if that. Because it was just all of them dating and like discovering things about each other. A
But
lot
it
of
was like
fluff,
a
so
lot
too
of
much fluff.
repetition too.
Yes, too
Like
much repetition.
every other word on the page was like, "Oh, he's so
Mhm.
cute. Oh, he's so sweet."
She's so cute. She's
Yeah.
so sweet. She is the most gorgeous person I've ever met. And it's
I
like
hate that shit in books anyways. Like
yeah, I know.
I hate the just supposition all the goddamn time. Like that's one of the reasons that I absolutely cannot stand first person
Yeah.
because it's all
And this
supposition.
and this is the reason why. So but you can do first person really, really well. Like
Yeah.
I don't mind first person because a lot of books out there are first person. That's what I'm
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah.
But this was just into egregious territory and it read to me like a Hallmark movie with that are like a rated R Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
It
The
was
well and the
they spoke how people don't speak in real life.
right.
So
It was like a middle schooler had started a story and finally finished its senior year of high school.
oh, that's really rough.
It
That's
is
really rough.
it's
But
really
I do
rough.
agree with that.
But I mean, am I lying? Like it was just there was just so much going on. I think your words to
So
me,
okay.
and I'm gonna pull it up because this was putting it succinctly. Hold on, hold on. Your text to me was I gotta sorry keep trying to tap it open and it's not opening. So I'm not gonna say what you said last night. I'm gonna let you say that. Um uh
I don't even remember what I said last night.
Well, that's cool. I will remind you later. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, you said this one is. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it was so good. Um.
I feel
Oh
so
my
bad for the
gosh.
author right now. I am so sorry if you're watching this.
I did
Thank
warn
you.
her. I warned her. I was
I
like, you
know.
should
Thank you.
definitely watch some of our videos or listen to our podcast. Because I did ask her, I was like, hey, would it be cool if we use this for our book of the month video for September? And she was like, yeah. I was like, you should watch our stuff.
Yes.
Okay. You were like, I don't hate it so far. She types how she thinks. It reads like a fanfic.
It does. It does read like a fanfic. And I, as someone who reads mostly fanfic, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the repetition,
Yeah.
the the
Which
the
could have
way that
been,
they speak to each other is not realistic.
this all could have
Um,
been solved. Almost everything we're going to talk about today could have been solved with the use of an editor.
yes.
So,
So okay, let's go back.
yeah.
We get to the point where they're dating. The not protagonist, the female lead.
Mm-hmm.
She finds out from her friend that he has a record of a woman found dead in his apartment,
Yeah.
and it was one of. She finds out that it was one of the ex sugar babies, and through a lot of forced drama and talking,
It was so
they
stupid. Like,
it
it
was
was,
very
there's
stupid.
no tension in the story at all.
This is yeah. Anyway, so she finds out that it was the reason that he quit the website for so long, and
Mm-hmm.
then he finally, got a message from her. And of course, it was a whole big like he got arrested because he was the only suspect, and that's the
Yeah,
first
because
person
it
that you
happened
suspect
in
in a
his
case like that
penthouse.
is the person that you're closest or in the apartment of.
Mm-hmm.
So and
By
then
the
there's
way,
also
newsflash,
someone.
he had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to do with it, which made me a kind of upset. And the reason why I got a little excited when I figured that that they oh, interest, that's cool. I was kind of crossing my fingers and hoping that he actually did it and was like
Mm-hmm.
a secret psychopath the whole entire time. That would have been an interesting freaking book.
Yeah, that would have been a great book. But also, let's be real, your mind is twisted and you love the psychopath. So, Little Miss, I'm the romanticy lover in the group. Bitch, no, you're lying. You like him
I'm the monster
crazy.
lover, unfortunately. So yeah,
So,
anyway,
yeah,
so
it
that's my
happens
opinion.
really quick. Like, okay, he did this thing. And she's like, oh, I want nothing to do with him. And then, like, 12 hours later, she's back in his apartment sleeping together with him. And everybody's like,
Literally.
it was just like, what?
All is forgiven.
There's just absolutely no tension to driving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is one of the major problems for this author is they didn't know, I should say that because I don't know how they identify, but they didn't know how to drive a plot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lily pad game, like
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna hop from thing to thing, and it continues throughout the entirety of this book. There are two antagonists, one for each of the main characters. One of them actually was done fairly well.
Oh, really?
His antagonist, like, that is a through line.
Yes.
It's like one
Yeah.
of the only through lines.
But you're talking about the woman who
yep.
wants to frame him for sexual
assault
harassment
and stuff like that.
or assault.
Which,
yeah.
And it, like, but I mean that's the only through line. But it also doesn't make any sense.
No.
Everything in this book is it does not allow you to suspend your disbelief. And I know we've talked about that in books prior. Like, if you can't suspend your disbelief, then what's the point of even reading? That's what makes you want to DNF. Is if it's just not believable, if it can't grab you and pull you into the story, it's really easy to drop a book. Like, because you have absolutely no interest in it. There's nothing to keep your interest. So, that is the only through line. Her antagonist, the female main character's antagonist, is like her cousin, who she has got CPTSD over, and
I forgot. I completely forgot about him. Because that's the beginning of the book. There's the whole the first
and
chapter.
I thought it was going to be SA, but no, he's just shoving her around.
He's abusive. Like, he's just abusive.
So That's the reason she doesn't go and go to her family and ask for help, who are only a train ride away, because remember, they're in Chicago. This is
Hmm.
very important for what I'm going to say next. But she doesn't go home because she doesn't want to be confronted with him. And
Hmm.
then when it finally comes out about what he did to her, he's shoving her into closets and he's pushing her around. Like,
Hmm.
he punched her in the gut once. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
over here like, bitch, you freeze up because some man's voice gets loud. Like,
I mean, that's fair. To be honest, that's fair. If
it
you
was
have that kind of
what I'm
abusive,
upset about is that it was made to be something much bigger.
that yeah,
Like, I was
yes,
expecting a boogeyman,
yeah.
and it's a balding potbelly cousin.
Well, I think that's part of the point. So I didn't get to this. I didn't get to this, but from context, it sounds like she wanted to express that he was just this dude and not this scary boogeyman that she's been afraid of her entire life. So I
Right.
think that's part of the point. So if she is describing him in that way, 1000% she's just like, oh, he's just a pathetic, balding, gut bellied old man, and I
Well, I
shouldn't be
mean,
afraid of him
so I think
anymore.
why I'm upset is because, like, we're made to the whole way until we actually get to what happened, because for chapters it's alluded that something terrible happened to her. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
child abuse isn't terrible. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not saying that at all. I'm not. Um but like, every time the subject comes up, it just grows and grows and grows. So
Mhm.
I'm expecting Freddy Krueger, and instead
Mhm.
I'm getting Bambi.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
tension just goes out, like it
Mhm.
immediately goes out.
It's
And now if it would be different if I was expecting Freddy Krueger, I got Bambi, and instead I got Cartman's Woodland Animals. Okay, but that wasn't the case either.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
know if you
No.
got to this point, but they've been dating a while. um and then both antagonists show up and snatch our female main character to try
Mhm.
and bully the male main character into signing over his company.
What?
It's like 6 months, okay, after like the whole start of this, okay. And the antagonist for the main character is the Russian lady who has been
Okay.
calling him from Russia, trying to get this merger or sell a piece of his company. She's been in the country for 6 months. Okay, they kidnap her. They beat the crap out of her, trying to get the guy to like sell the company.
Right. It's so okay. 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 I mean, that makes sense. This is kind of turning into a mafia thing ish.
So
But
a week after they rescue her, okay, this is, I
yeah,
was so frustrated. I emailed you, or no, I texted you when this
you did text
happened.
me about this. Yeah.
A week after they rescue her, she's only been gone for 2 days.
Hmm.
They take the woman and her cousin, it comes to light, her cousin into custody. A week later, they're at trial.
1 week? 1 week? Okay, okay. The author is foreign, it
Right.
sounds like. In America,
This takes,
that's not what happens.
no, this takes years. Okay,
Years. Yes.
years.
I
Um,
mean, this is kind of like movie magic. And if you're watching an American, yes, it's going to take maybe a couple weeks.
no,
But
even in movies, it takes months.
recent movies, if you're
Okay,
watching like old classics or like
okay, I'll
movies from
give
the
you that.
90s, that's, that was standard. And then people were like, why is it only taking a week? And then they finally figured it out
But the
later
most
on.
most egregious thing, okay,
Yeah.
because that's not bad
No, no,
enough.
no, no, no. That's pretty funny though. That's pretty great.
they are they are sending the jury. Okay, now it, a lot of American high schoolers have to go through what we call mock trial
Hmm.
um in high school. And in that
Yes.
you learn how the judicial system works. Like if you were going to be in a court case, like this is the standard procedure. Okay? There are no surprises. Nothing like that is allowed. If
Mhm.
in fact, if you want to know how how you can expect a trial go to proceed, watch the movie My Cousin Vinny. Okay. In fact, they show that. No, don't laugh. They show that in law school because it actually depicts the right kind of cadence through a
Mm,
trial. Um, they're not allowed surprises. Everything has to be
yeah.
declared beforehand. You know, like unless and this came up in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just bring in surprise witnesses
No.
unless it's actually brought up in testimony or is declared beforehand. Like it's
Mhm.
there it's very procedural. Okay, so
Yes. Lots of red tape. This
there
is
are
the government we're
steps for
talking
everything
about.
because everything has to be verified and bona fide and all that kind of shit. Like you can't just walk into a court case and be like, "Oh, this is what I saw." No, 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 no. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into to make sure what you are saying has been substantiated. So,
No, but I want to bang on the table and say you can't handle the truth.
right? So, um this is what really got my goat, okay? It's been a week since she was rescued. They're already in trial. The jury has been let out of the box to go deliberate, and some dude comes running through the door saying, wait a minute, I want to testify."
No,
They
no, it's not a
bring the
wedding.
they
It's
bring
not like you are you walking into a wedding and saying, what's it called? I don't know. I don't remember.
I object.
Clearly, this doesn't happen. I object. Yes, thank you. This doesn't happen a lot in real life either, by the way. But
No.
it's not. It's not like that. I object.
The
I'm a witness.
judge
I object.
the judge brings the jury back in to hear this guy's testimony and then lets him back out to deliberate.
No way.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm just like,
Okay.
this is like at 75%, 80% done with the book. And I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I applaud you. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
I
That's
don't
crazy.
remember how the book ends other than they're together. But,
Okay.
you know,
It's a
like,
happily ever after. Okay.
I don't fucking care at this point. Okay? There is so many scenes, like the majority of the scenes in this book are smutty scenes, and
Yes.
I skipped over half of them
I was starting to get to that point too.
because
And
they
then,
were,
yeah.
to quote my husband, tired and pedantic.
It was the smut was not that great. I think I did text you that too. I said the sex is pretty awful.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it's
awful.
boring. It was boring. Like the idea of the whole sugar baby thing was abandoned so early.
So quickly. Within the first or second date, I think I think he did try to send her $5,000.
Oh yeah, he was
And she
trying to
was
send
like,
her
no,
money.
I'm not doing it. I'm not
Like that
doing it.
was the whole point of you joining the site. You were really
Exactly.
excited that you just had to go on some dates and your rent would be paid. Um
Right.
okay. Let's take a pause before we get to the nitty-gritty. So we can announce our giveaway. I'm so
Yes.
excited because
Perfect timing.
it's
Perfect timing.
yeah, we're coming up to the end of the book and we're going to get the rest of our questions out, but before we do that, now I can't find my notes. What the heck?
So we are doing a giveaway where we have some neat prizes,
Yes,
and we just
which will be
what
posted
are
on Instagram. I'm not going to let you
yes.
guys be all like, "Oh, but what are we getting?" Nope, it's on Instagram, I promise. Um Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
so
you're fine.
excited. I'm just so
I was
excited.
just you're excited. You were looking so I was just stating that we do have some, so as long as the conditions are met,
Yeah.
and we are going to be giving these prizes away. So
Yes.
it's we've been planning this for quite some time.
We've been
Very
teasing
excited.
it for a couple of months too. So,
Yeah.
what do you have to do? I mean, if you are already a member of our Instagram, YouTube, podcast, or Discord channel, it's going to be hella easy for you. If not,
Yes.
this is what you got to do. I mean, I don't think it's terribly difficult, but first you need to comment, like, subscribe this video. What do you need to comment? Well, we want to know what your favorite smut is, because
Yes.
there are a lot of books and a lot of different takes on those books, a lot of hot takes, which I've been posting on Instagram, by the way.
A lot of genres too. Like
Yeah,
it could be
it could
anything.
be
I want to
anything.
know what your favorite, what you think about whenever you're reading something that is not that great to you, or
What are
just
you
like, oh
comparing it
God,
to?
what are you comparing it to in your head? Because we
Yeah,
want to
we want to
know.
know. But like, comment, subscribe, um, the channel, this video, and of course, what your favorite smut is. Now, you gotta go back to Instagram. If you have an Instagram, I mean, what book reader, I should say, does not have an Instagram at this point? We're all sharing our reviews of stuff. So I'm going to be posting some teasers of the stuff that we have for the giveaway. We need you to follow us, like one of the posts, and then comment on that post. We don't care what you comment, just give us a little something. Tell us, like, oh, I'm enjoying the videos. That would
Mhm.
be great. Or I'm a listener from so and so. Just
Mhm.
so you know, we have a couple of listeners in Canada now. Like,
Oh,
not just one, no, a
exciting.
couple of different cities. We have a couple of different
Nice.
cities in Mexico, and
Mhm.
we've got listeners in Europe, there's like Brussels, there's a whole bunch of listeners in Germany now. We got
Ooh,
France,
hello.
we've got Belgium, and then there's
Mhm.
Russia. Um, of course, we got listeners all over the US, which shout out to our Florida listeners. Um, but yeah,
Hi, Shakes.
give us a comment on what you are in the middle of, or what you're in the progress of reading, of course, where you're at, whatever. Just give us something in the comments on Instagram. And then the last piece, this is the piece on how you actually enter. Okay, once you've done all of that, join us on Discord. We're gonna have a channel set up just for giveaways. I'm gonna make it so that when you enter something, nobody else will see it but us mods. And drop us what your YouTube username is and what your Instagram username is, so we can go and check and like you back. That's
Mhm.
Yeah, if you have a YouTube channel and you're also reviewing books, let us know. We'd love to subscribe and watch some of your
Yes.
videos. Um and then when is this going to end? Well, we post our book of the months on the 24th without fail. Sometimes they're a little late. I try to get it 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Mhm.
Um, but sometimes, like last week, or not last week, but last month, that happened to be a horrible day.
Yeah.
So we had the video ready to go, and then I wasn't able to schedule it to release at the right time because tragedy struck the family. But
Mhm.
we are ready to go for this month. So our announcement for the winners for the giveaways will be in the video on the 24th, in the podcast on the 24th of October. How would you know that you won? Well, we're going to post it on Discord for sure. And we're going to announce it in the video because we're that flippin' excited. So you need to watch us on October 24th with our new book of the month to
Yes.
learn whether or not you've won. I mean, I'm really excited. All right.
I'm so excited. I love giving away presents.
Me
Anyway,
too. I mean, how much shit have I given you over the years?
so many, so many, too many.
All right. So we have gotten to the end of the book, which I do not remember. You never even got there because it was just so boring. Which brings me, hold on, I gotta find the notebook on my Kindle with our
Okay.
with our book of the month questions. Sorry, I thought Talos was coming to me. All right. So, Cass, I know you didn't finish, which usually denies a rating. But if you were to finish, given what you've
Yeah.
heard about this book and what you've read, what is your overall rating out of 5?
Oof. Out of 5. Okay. It's not it's not not readable. And I know I DNF'd it, but it has room for improvement. A lot of room. Like if like you said, I think if an editor were involved, I think this could be a really good story.
Mm-hmm.
Um I'm gonna give it a solid 2 out of 5. Because I do like the overall premise. I think things could have been handled better,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, it's not the worst thing I've read. It really isn't. But um, given the light to the details of the end of the book, yes, I feel like probably a lot of the editing should have happened towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I feel like that she
Especially,
just kind of stopped at certain places and then went was like, "Oh, I could put this in. This will make it better."
and this
Sometimes
is
less
why
is
I
more.
say that it reads very much like a fan fiction, is because that's kind of how it is when you go to these fan fiction websites. It's posted chapter by chapter. There's months, maybe sometimes even years in between the chapters.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it felt like reading this. It felt like I was just kind of scrolling through um, Archive of Our Own, or AO3, the one I go to. Just, that's what I felt like, like binging a whole entire series. But unfortunately, this one did not capture my interest, and I had to stop. I really did. So maybe if I had known who the people were supposed to be, I would have been a lot more excited.
Oh, how did
But
you going back because we totally missed this. How did you feel about a coder becoming a hacker?
uh, I mean, it kind of that doesn't surprise me because that's also a trope.
Well, and
um,
like she somehow figured out that over his highly trained and very expensive IT team that they just whoever broke into his database just got behind the firewall. So all she had to do was re-engage the firewall.
no,
Like I
no,
don't
no, no, no,
code. I am like I touch a computer and it usually breaks, okay?
no, no. But that's not how it works.
But
It
I
really
know
is
that's not
not
how
how
it
it works.
works. My uncle used
Yeah.
to teach coding, okay?
Mm.
Yes, you can go in and really mess with somebody's website if their source code is available to you. But that
Right.
doesn't mean you're a goddamn hacker. And that doesn't
Right.
mean that you are also into cybersecurity.
Oof. So many different things.
And
Like
it
I
just,
feel
that's
like
not
when
how a
people
firewall works.
I think to a layman, that's how it works, because it's like, oh, it's computers. It's the same. It's the same language. All you have to do is just break in
There
like they
was,
do in the movies.
there was
No, 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 no. That's not how it works. It's all different. It's all different.
one
Um,
of my writing teachers always said is that if you were going to write someone who is an expert in something, you better become an expert in something because the people
it's true.
who know are going to tear it apart.
And I don't know that much. I just know based off my husband's a computer guy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't code, but he's
Listen,
I know enough to know that that is very, very, very incorrect.
I used to code my own Neopets websites and my MySpace, okay? And I know that's not
Oh,
how it
stop.
works.
I did that too. I think all of us millennials did.
Okay.
And it was fun.
My Neopets sites were pretty bitchin'. I had a chat room in one of them, okay? But
Ooh, how
like
cool.
that was
My
that was
MySpaces were really awesome too. I like to completely just screw with everything. Like there was one, I remember one I had like the whole, like all the things like condensed into like a small bubble. And uh there was like a tiny little search bar at the top. Like it was cool. I miss those days. I kind of
oh
wish we could bring that
my
back a little bit.
I did look up MySpace once. It is not the same.
It absolutely not. No,
No.
it's like Facebook,
Yeah.
but worse.
But for music, it
Yeah.
was like all musicians and shit. I was like, um, okay. So my overall rating, and I feel bad, but I really don't, was a 1 out of 5.
I
Um,
saw this coming.
it's just not. It's just not good. It's not like the writing style was just because I mean, okay, let's refresh everybody. The bestie rates based on the story. I based on the writing and the flow of
Yes.
writing.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
not good. It was not good. It really pulled me out of suspense of disbelief too many times for me to give it more than a 2. But by the end of it, everything just all
It was the whole
it's the
sandwich. It
whole
was
thing.
tainted.
It was a shit sandwich. Um Author, I'm sorry if you've gotten this far in our podcast and our ratings. Our suggestion is use this as a first draft and get an editor. Because a red pen is desperately needed. This did not need to be 829 pages long. And I was really excited about it. Like I love a thick, girthy book.
Mhm. Yes, you like details, and yeah,
I
you
do.
yeah yeah.
Um I mean, I think a lot of series should be one book. Like there's just not a need for multiple
I agree.
volumes. So I was really excited that this was one book. Um and it looked like somebody had just like plucked that idea out of my brain. But this one it could have stayed one book. It just needed less is more is the what I need to put in there. Less is a
Right.
hell of a lot more in this situation.
This
Um
could have probably be condensed into like a 500-page book,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
probably pretty easily.
Okay,
Um,
so that goes into number 2 of our
mhm.
standard questions because nobody has joined Discord to give us new questions.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Question number 2 is if there are corrections, what would they be?
I would 100% have made him be the actual
Psycho.
killer. Oh yeah. It would have been a very different book. You could have probably still had the trial in there.
Mm-hmm.
But how cool would it have been if like he gets convicted and he is actually a killer? But you could have had it be um still up for debate whether he
Right.
did it or not. Like there's some evidence, but it's all circumstantial.
You know, that
Um
would have been a good plot twist.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I was so excited. And then like tossed out the window.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
My
maybe I should read
corrections.
more mystery books. Anyways, so
I mean, we have been talking about branching the channel so that we are including not just smutty breeds, but some other contemporary genres that might influence or might interest people. Maybe that's what people should comment down below. Would you guys read um something else that's not smut? Still tell us what your favorite smut is. We were very interested
yes.
in hearing that. My corrections for the author, for the writer, um maybe next time sit down and actually write out a timeline of the major points you want to hit. I used to not do that when I was writing, much to the detriment of my writing. I just used to let the characters take me where they would. Um,
Mhm.
but when as a reader you find that just aimless, and the characters come across aimless, and then you really do lose the plot, as the British saying goes. So um maybe sit down with, when you get an editor, or if you decide to try again, sit down and actually plot out the journey that you want these characters to go, and then stick to it. Fill in between those hit points. um Question number 3: what's a major plot hole in this story?
Uh, oof. I
I
haven't
know,
given that one much thought.
I
Um,
know, I know.
how did that person die? So they said it was a drug overdose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it, if she was one of the sugar babies,
Mm-hmm.
then how did he not know if she had such a huge problem? Like how did that happen in the first place? It sounded like he was very good at vetting his last sugar babies,
That
and
is
then
an
this
excellent
one
question.
slipped through the cracks and then died in his apartment. How did that happen? How does this happen? Because it's like this doesn't really. It happens in like drug dens. It happens in places that you would expect it to happen.
So
Um,
in the text, he goes on, because he does this whole exposition about what happened to her 12 hours after she finds out. Um,
yeah,
and so he did go on a date with this girl. They went back to his apartment, which is a keypad entry. Um, and he assumes that she memorized his datapad entry into the apartment, the key
I
code.
see.
Um, but they went up to his apartment. They slept together. He gave her like $5,000. She left that night. Went to work the next morning. She came up to the apartment hoping that he was there, and if
Mm,
not, then he was going. She was going to. She was trying to extort more money from him.
I
Um.
see.
Uh. So he assumes that she went up to the apartment either to find him and extort more money, or rob him,
Uh,
burglar him. I'm sorry. Um.
Burgle.
Yeah, because apparently there's a difference. Like, robbing is the person, and burglarizing is a home, or a,
Of possessions.
right, in a, not actually the robbing a person, but like a home. Um, so yeah, she was going to burgle him, um, and ended up ODing in his apartment, and he found her when he came home and
I
called the
mean, I guess that's
cops.
not super unbelievable.
And no, but here's the thing that is unbelievable, okay? The cops immediately take him into custody, even though he has security cameras in the
Yeah.
penthouse.
It would have been a cut and dry if there were security
Right.
cameras everywhere.
Because the
Unless you had
security,
the wherewithal to go into the security system and shut off all the cameras, which
right.
I don't know if that
No,
happened. He didn't
no,
say that
no,
happened.
no. He was immediately taken into custody. The police showed up, found the dead girl in his apartment. He's like, he's kind of like in shock, because he just walks in and there's an ODing dead girl,
Mm.
and they immediately take him into custody. He makes them get the security footage, which like shows the entry and the exit of the apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and then like
He should have been released.
then they release him. But the media already says that he did it, so there's no.
But he's not like a celebrity.
No, but
He's
he is
just
a
a rich dude.
billionaire.
Yeah, that's true. I guess billionaires are
A
celebrities these days.
billionaire,
Not all of them,
a
but a lot of them.
billionaire, a bachelor whose parents died when he was like younger or something,
He's Batman. He's Bruce Wayne, basically. But
with
less
no
interesting.
personality.
Less
Um,
interesting.
so yeah, that's But again, as the suspension of disbelief, like immediately, the cops would have pulled the security cameras. He would never have been taken into custody. There would never have been media coverage of him being hauled away in handcuffs. None of it.
I know.
It's manufactured drama for the sake of a plot that goes nowhere.
Which was disappointing. Anyway, it was disappointing for me, but
Um, the plot hole that I can think of is the woman from Russia. Like 4 months, she has been video calling him, trying to get him to sell parts of his company. He absolutely doesn't want to do that. He has,
mhm.
like, he is apathetic towards his family's company, but it is his family's company, so he's going to continue doing whatever the hell it is they do because we never find out.
Nope.
Um,
Anyway,
she's
so
in
yeah,
the
so
she flies from Russia to meet with him in person, sexually harasses him. He throws her out. She then claims he sexually assaults her.
mhm.
Um, and then she's just sticking around. Like,
Yeah,
you are a hotshot
but shouldn't
businesswoman from Russia, and you're just
wouldn't her reputation be tainted after that? Why wouldn't you know? Why doesn't she have any repercussions? And then, which is so problematic, by the way. Like, I don't know. Thinking about this situation where you have this woman who's coming onto this billionaire who obviously doesn't want it. I'm assuming there's cameras in the building too, so there's video evidence of this as well. And then, so she gets kicked out, but then like
there's
for
no
some
cameras
reason,
in his office, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That's why it's a plot hole. Like that the I like that there is an actual through the story with this idea,
yes,
but it's just so poorly executed that it's ridiculous. Okay. So those are our three standard questions. I hope you guys enjoyed our
yes.
answers. Cass, you are up for the book of the month because I've picked the last couple of ones. And I realize that's not fair, and I'm sorry. So what have you
No, that's
picked?
okay.
What have you picked for us?
I have picked Now Showing, and I can't remember the author's name.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Now
Thank
showing
you.
by Maggie Fern. And
Maggie
actually
Fern.
this is going to be a one-time thing because we don't normally have time for this. But we're
Yeah.
actually going to be reading two books this month. And that's because Now Showing is only 180 pages.
And it's a duet.
Yeah.
So each book is less than 200 pages. So we feel that this is short enough that we can condense it into
Mhm.
a one single read.
Yeah.
Um, so I am excited
Yeah.
for this. It's been on my TBR for a year now. So
And because it is going to be October's
it's spooky.
book of the month, they are supposed to be among the thriller spooky books.
hmm
Um,
hmm
so I hope you guys join us for those. And of course, we're also going to be starting our new series because the one I picked last time was a little too much for the bestie.
Yeah, I have. Maybe we should make a video in the future just to put out our um no-go zones or for
Something.
some reason words are failing me right now. It's our last straw, our I mean, I couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
well, but you see why I didn't make it a book of the month.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like that. It's a dark series, and even a couple of people on Instagram commented when I posted the canceled discussion,
hmm
post. They were like,
Yes.
"Oh, you mean you're not gonna get into the sleep rapey brothers thing?" No, no,
No.
the bestie couldn't do it. It is a very dark series. It does get better, but that first book is a doozy. The second one is also like it's a doozy in a different way,
Yeah.
but the series is a doozy. Like you have to
You have to
be
be really into the dark stuff. And I do like dark things. I think my cutting off point is like true non-consensual things.
Yeah.
Like if you are in a situation where you are seeing the protect or the one of the leads, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
female or male, the victim in the situation or the actual victim in this case,
Mm-hmm.
um, you see what their mindset is being consensual,
Yeah.
even though what's happening is still technically assault.
Yeah.
Um, it's still like, oh, I wanted this. And
Yeah.
then when I read something where it's like very clearly that they are a victim and they did not want this, sorry, that's not hot to me. That's where I
Well,
draw the line.
so that I think that's the first chapter or the prologue or something like that.
It's the
It
prologue. It's the
does
prologue.
devolve into a free use after that.
Yeah.
So, um,
Not for me, dude. Not for me. I don't judge the people who like it, obviously, but ain't for me. So.
so we're also going to announce what series we're reading next. I'm actually very excited about it. It's a 3-book series, and they are fairly lengthy. Let's see. Kindle 236 pages is the first book. The first book is Dragon's Gift by Jasmine Walt. We're so
Yay.
excited because
Looks so good.
we got a harem read, y'all. And you know how we love our
Mhm.
harem reads. So that is
Dude.
going to be what we're starting for October. I might jump into that series now. Uh
Mhm.
and of course, like the series discussions, we post those as soon as they're done. Like we'll space them out because if we can do a couple back to back, we will, and we'll space them out so that they'll be released in a timely manner. And I do apologize that we haven't had anything posted on the YouTube for a while. I have not gotten a box to unbox yet. So if that's what you're looking for, they are coming, and there are going to be
Yes.
quite a few of them because I have an October unboxing specifically from A&O coming and for Once Upon a Book Club. So
Ooh,
I'm so
exciting.
excited. And those are Halloween themed. So,
It's spooky season, guys. There's
I
almost
mean,
in just a couple days.
no,
I don't
no,
care.
no. It
It's here. It's
started
here.
for me in August, okay? Like I'm getting pumped. If you guys couldn't
Mhm.
tell, my whole house is very autumn-y. My husband's and my wedding anniversary was in the autumn. Like I am in the
Yes.
autumn period of my life cuz I'm a summer child. So, Cass, thank you so much for discussing this long and drawn out book. Um,
Of course. Of
do
course.
you have
Anytime, girl.
do you have something that you're reading now? Do you have a book recommendation for me? Because I am in between books. I finished like 3 of them yesterday.
I actually do.
Really?
It yes, I'm in the middle of it right now. It's also a harem, I guess. What constitutes a harem, by the way? Is it more than one or is it more than a certain number?
I would say it's a harem if it's not a throuple.
Okay, yeah, there's four,
Okay, there we go.
including the female lead.
All
So,
right.
yeah, and it is called